Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video we're going to do something a little different. My face is down here in the bottom right hand corner because I am going to show you guys some stuff on the screen. But instead of talking about all of the market stuff, that seems to be like really rampant right now. High prices, scalping, all these different things. Really, my channel, if you guys have been around since before TCA Gaming when I was the Charizard Authority, really was just me about showing you guys the stuff that I was bringing in, and almost all of it was like vintagey type stuff. So today, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna briefly show you guys some inventory stuff that I have on my computer and how you can link different sheets to real-time information and other sheets to other sheets so you can like consolidate that information. I'm going to go into that briefly, but if I get a lot of response about people wanting to know more about how to do that, so you've got a nice clean way of keeping up with inventory, especially if you have a lot of inventory, I'll go into it. Like, I'm still learning. I just learned about import XML from Dan not too long ago, and since then I've went into a few other different types of things, and it's kind of cool watching stuff. But second, I am going to go over my gym challenge collection. I'm going to show you guys the cards that I personally have still in my personal collection, and the grade that they're in, and then I'm going to show you guys that'll kind of connect to the sheets because you can see the pricing and how I keep up with inventory. And then last, I'm going to open up 2 gym challenge booster packs. Now these packs right here, I believe they were like the 13th and 14th heaviest pack from that gym challenge pack booster box that I opened up a while back. If you guys remember, I pulled out 11 packs, or I pulled out 12 packs. The 12th pack ended up being a light, and then since then I think it was like the 9th or 8th heaviest pack also was a light. Now the rest of those heavy packs went to Dan, so if I pull a Blaine's Charizard out of here, I don't know if he's actually went through those packs or if he has what he's opened up since then. We haven't pulled a Blaine's Charizard, but know that if I pull one, you probably won't pull one from the packs that he's got, that he had gotten off of me. I didn't send him too many. It was like 5 or 6 packs. I know that we've gotten a Gyarados, a Ninetales, Persian maybe. I can't remember what else we may have gotten, but we'll open those up. So we're going to get back to opening up some vintagey stuff. So if you can last with me through all of that, then you'll get to see that at the end, or you can just skip right ahead. It doesn't matter to me. I'm getting tired of the whole ad thing. They're always changing it up, it seems like, with YouTube. I was listening to somebody, I think it was like Magnates Media or something, and all of a sudden I found myself in a 7-minute non-skippable ad. I refreshed the page and ad block worked again. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but I know a lot of you who watch on the phone don't even have access to ad block. So that we can get to that, and this doesn't take forever, it might take a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to start off with the spreadsheet stuff, and we're going to look at that now. Guys, don't be surprised by some of these numbers. I do have to put in estimates for a lot of stuff, but I'm going to show you how you can link it to a place like price charting, because some sites you can't actually get the information off of. They have, like, I guess it's called scraping. Maybe you can't actually get into it, but I'm going to give you guys a few examples. So all right, here we go. So this is one of my inventory total pages that I have, and what you're looking at here is, so I've got like base set right here. This will have all of my base set PSA graded cards in there, and so these actually link to all of the different sets. These are different sheets that they're pulling information from, and you can see how it says like loading. And the reason it's loading is because they're linked. Those sheets are linked to actual links from different sites, so it's constantly updating. And I'm going to show you guys that here in a minute. Sometimes I forget that people don't, like, I have it zoomed out usually pretty good when I'm looking at stuff, and so maybe this will help you guys see it a little bit. And like this number right here, this 644,000, don't let that surprise you. That's like the pre-release Raichu's in there, and so I've got a very large number that takes up the majority of whatever you're looking at there. So don't be surprised by that. It's going to pull in all of the estimates plus my random cards and errors and things that may not even have prices on different websites. But today we're going to be looking at Gym Challenge, and the reason these say loading is because anytime one of the prices updates that I have it all connected to, it'll do that. And so I actually have this stagnant total, which these are prices that I took from a certain date back in March. So actually I can see like what it's updated. So like when I took the stagnant total for Team Rocket, it was $41,013.90, and now it's increased, by 40 or 50 bucks. Nothing crazy. But like look at Skyridge, you can see it's went from 92,000 to 95,000, and this is just in like the span of a week. And that 95,000, like this isn't just one of each holo. I might have an extra of a Charizard or something like that stuck in there. All right, so let's look at Gym Challenge. Before we go there, the way I pull these prices in, it's really simple. So if you look at this formula, I literally type in equals import range. And then I put a little parentheses, and then in quotations from here to here, this is literally just the URL of the sheet that I want. So I press Control ACV, you know, when I'm in the URL. That's just the shortcuts for highlight all, copy it, and then I can paste it right here. Then I hit a little comma, and then I literally put in here the sheet name. Summary is the name of the sheet that I'm pulling it from, a little exclamation mark so it doesn't move, and then E2 to E2. Oops. E2 to E2 means just I'm pulling it from one specific cell. You can actually pull it from a range, like you could pull data from one sheet in a nice table into a whole nother sheet, but I just wanted one specific cell. So there's only two pieces of information really here: the URL and then the sheet along with the cell that I want to pull the information from, and then that will automatically pull information from. I have a link directly to my Gym Challenge page. It's going to pull it from this exact spot right here. As you can see, like this is the name, so the URL, I would just copy that and I would paste it over there, and then right here in the column E, you can see this is the name of the sheet is summary. I think you guys can see that. Actually, you can't, but you have different sheets. I'm not going to be able to. Let me see if I can just pull this up. I don't think it's locked. This might look weird for a second. You can see down there in the bottom left where it says summary. That's just the name of the sheet. That's all it is. And at the very top, you know, I just want this particular, this is E2. So E2 to E2. So it's not even a bunch of, like a huge range of things. Like over here with titles, this is information that I pulled from another sheet. Equals import range, and then I have, this is the name of the sheet, and then titles A1 through H302. So I pulled in the entire amount of like in a sheet. So like all of this is just imported information from another sheet, so that I can, if I have another set that I want to do, I can literally just copy the sheet, and this information will pull over. And all I really have to do is, now this information is pulling from another sheet that I have, and you know, it just updates. But anyways, I know that's kind of confusing, so you guys don't worry about that too much. If you want to learn more, you guys want me to do a sheet, I can show you how I do it. But all of this information is pulled over. Like for Blaine's Arcanine, really all I put in there was the name, and then the rest of this stuff kind of like generated. Same thing with like the link. I have another page where I just use a barcode scanner. Thanks to Jim at Pokemon, I was putting them in manually, but a barcode scanner works really nice. And I scan in all these numbers, and over here I have the base link for PSA card /cert. Then it adds this at the end, and it generates this link, and then that link is brought over to right here. So like you can see, that's pulling from another page as well. So none of this is manually inputted, except for I do the condition. But I link it out. So the information that I have to work on are like the condition and the value. What I do is I pull this information from price charting, and I always put the link in there for the item. So like if we go to, say, this Blaine's Arcanine right here, like it's going to take me to price charting, and it's going to show the price for PSA 10. Now, if you're looking for other grades, you can hit that little plus mark, and you can get other grades in here. And I have ways that I calculate ones that aren't on here. Like the CGC Perfect, usually I just 2x to pristine, but I have so few perfects, like who knows if that's even accurate or not. And sometimes these prices are not accurate, but it's going to give you a pretty cool baseline. But like here's your URL. And so to get this $2,000, I use import XML. And look, there's the URL. Same thing as the other thing. You close it, you know, at your quotations, comma, start a new quotations, and it's like, how do you get this right here? Well, it's pretty simple. Google has this cool feature. So I can either do it from this page, or I can do it from the other page where it's extended, but you literally just highlight the information. You hit right, inspect, and then there's these little dots right here that opens up, and you copy the full X path. And once you do that, like you just Control V, and it's in there. So like that information is there. And what's cool about that and price charting, to get from Blaine's Charizard to, or Blaine's Arcanine to Blaine's Charizard, like none of this changes. It's the same for every single one of them. The only thing you're going to change is the URL. And so instead of saying Blaine's Arcanine first edition number 1, you'll say Blaine's Charizard first edition number 2. So that's the only difference between calculating the value here and the value there. Now the reason this one is loading is because there's so much information. If you have a lot of import XMLs, then it can do that. And that's why on my inventory total page, I actually have all these separated out into different sets. Most likely these will all load, but if I had all of these on a single sheet, then it would be really bad. It would be tough to actually ever get a full number. Earlier this morning, these were actually all loaded except for, I want to say, there was one of them. I think it was Neogenesis. That was the one that wasn't loaded. And sometimes all you have to do is go in there and hit refresh. And so like if you hit refresh, it'll go back and it'll load those pretty quickly. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can pull the information. Like I actually have this link directly to PSA Cert. And I know this looks like it took a long time, but because of the way I have it set up, I just put in certain information and these auto-generate. I haven't figured out a way to auto-generate a formula connected to other formulas because the equal sign doesn't want to like add in without having a formula after it. And then if you make it as plain text, then it doesn't pick up as a formula when you combine the cells. So, maybe somebody who's smarter with Excel knows how to do that. But you can see right here, like this actually has a price guide value of 2,000, and that's the same as price charting. And that one doesn't show a price, but let's look at like Koga's Beedrill. So this is showing 899. Let's see if PSA is a little different. I tried pulling them directly from PSA. PSA is showing $200, which that's not going to be right. Like that's probably like an old sale. Let me see what we have here. I wish it would just link you directly to the card when you click on it. So that was Koga's Beedrill. So let's go back to it again. Most recent price $800, but the price guide was saying 200. So I don't know where maybe they just need to update it. But anyways, like I said, we could go really into depth with this, and you guys could probably teach me a lot of things. But I'm not going to go too crazy into it. But if you guys want to learn more about it, like I said, there's really only two simple formulas here: the import XML to get this, and there's only two spots that you really have to copy information, and you just get it from the web. You don't have to figure out these this information. Like you don't need coding, you just need to know where to put the stuff. It's like a formula. If you have the formula to figure out the volume of a sphere, then all you got to do is input that information into the formula and you can figure it out. But if you don't know the formula, then it doesn't work, and it's like you're speaking Chinese and you only know how to, or someone speaking Chinese and you only know English, and it's like I don't understand what you're saying. But if you have that little code and know how to get it in there, then it's really pretty simple. But anyways, so I have all these different sheets connected to one another. Is how I keep up with stuff, and I do have to put some things in there manually, like uncut sheets. I don't even have anything connected because there is no market data for uncut sheets really. And so this number right here, like it says 1.4 million. Two of those is just 250,000 for the base set first edition uncut sheets. I value them more. The market has valued them less in the past. I'm going with 250,000 a piece for them. Whether or not they're worth that, I mean, who knows, right? If they went to auction, they could go for more, or they could bomb, especially since I'm not bidding on them anymore. Like, if I don't bid on myself, I'm removing myself as the highest bidder where they were previously. So those are just like estimates. They're just like random numbers that I threw in there. But I digress. I'm going to get off of there, and let's actually look at some cards from Gym Challenge. So this is my personal collection. It is, if I think I saw it correctly, we were at, so for all of these cards, I estimated right at 46,000, and there's one card that I put at 15 grand, which could be a $3,000 card. And that's the corrected Gym Challenge. So that could be, 12 grand down just like that. All right, we have a Blaine's Arcanine. These are all unlimited. This is the one with the fighting symbol. Got a nice little swirl up there. Brock's Ninetales. You're going to notice all these certification numbers are like 40 million or less. Pretty much all of them, because these have been in my collection now for quite a while. I completed most of these pre-pandemic. I don't think I've really added much since then. This was like the premium. Everybody wanted the 40 million certs. They was so much harder than the 20 million certs. And now nobody wants anything less than like 90 million. They want the 100 millions. So like all these 20 millions, there were people who complained about it. I have never noticed like too much of a premium difference in price. However, if the card, you look at it and it's obvious that it's not a PSA 10 or it shouldn't be a PSA 10, then the price on the card could tank. And then if you guys remember, pulled this one on the channel. It's got like that deep saturation, but we end up getting the 10 on it, and you can see this is the corrected symbol. Same thing with the Rocket's Minefield gem. This is the corrected version. If Tails put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, but I believe this is only for like international versions of the gym challenge that was printed in English. However, I can't confirm that. That's just where I've seen it pulled before. But the English version that we know of, that typically you find in gym challenge booster packs, it just says put damage counters, and there was an errata. So these are all unlimited. And then I'm going to show you guys the first edition. I am still missing 1 card in a PSA 10. If you guys were paying attention, maybe somebody here picked up on it. If you are familiar with the Pops, then you probably know which card it is. But here we have Blaine's Arcanine in first edition. Can't remember who sent me this, but they left a nice little note. There's the Blaine's Charizard, Brock's Ninetales, Erica's Venusaur. There's the Gyarados and the Machamp. Nidoking, and here's the 1 card I do not have in a 10, the Giovanni's Persian. The reason I've never picked this one up in a 10 is it's always been out of my price range for how much I valued the card, so I was okay with the 9, and it's a really good 9. Now, eventually, maybe I will pick up the 10, but I want to pick it up at a price that I feel comfortable with, and I will say that it has held value pretty well. Like, this was a pretty expensive 10 for a while there. Well, almost looks like a double swirled on it, but it's just 1 swirl. I've seen people call that a double swirl before. But it's held pretty good value. This is another low pop one. You got the Misty's Golduck, got the Gyarados, Rocket's Mewtwo, Rocket Zapdos, nice swirl on the Sabrina's Alakazam. There's the Blaine, Giovanni, Koga, and the Sabrina. So everything in a 10 except for that Giovanni's Persian. All right, so now that you've seen all the possible hits, let's actually get around to what I said I would do, and that is open up these 2 booster packs. I'm hoping that we pull a holo out of one of them, but I really don't know. Like I said, I think these are the 13th and 14th heaviest packs, and we've already opened up 2 lights out of the first 12. And so I had set these aside instead of sending them off to be graded. I was like, you know what, maybe I'll have fun with these one of these days, and so that's what I'm going to do. And if there's holos in neither one of these, then that means one of the light packs that I sent to PSA to be graded, that means at least one of them has a holo in it. Now, I can't remember where it was. I want to say it was like the 2nd card off the back or something. We'll know for the next pack. Nice Blaine's Charmander. If you guys have ever seen that, I remember there was for the Misty's pre-release, Misty Seadra pre-release, there was a question about what is behind the Ghastly in Fossil, and I think it's like a brick wall. But I thought it was kind of cool. There's another brick wall here with Sabrina's Ghastly, and then you have this silhouette of the Slowbro. That would have been a cool little question to throw in there. Jinx, Vulpix. I'm going to pull the back card off. Got a Water Energy. And, ooh, Koga's Beedrill over here talking it up. And we pull one. So it looks like this one is indeed a heavy pack. So that's pretty cool. If I can get a sleeve over here. Now, I pulled the Brock's Ninetales for myself as well. That one pulled an 8. I was kind of disappointed with the 8. But the condition looks really nice. The centering, it's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. You can see it's a little heavy on the left. Got a nice swirl there. This has kind of got that same little double swirl pattern, but it's not actually a double swirl. In fact, if you go in the light a certain way, it only looks like just a single swirl. Well, look at that. So we've got one holo in. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. That'd be really cool. Now, if you guys are wondering why the holo would be in the 13th heaviest pack versus the 12th or the 9th, it's because it's just so close, the weights. Like base, fossil, jungle, we got pretty lucky with how varied the weights would be. Like they're usually about half a gram difference. Man, I don't like tearing up the packs, but these are just falling apart. But with base set 2, Team Rocket, Neos are really bad, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge. I mean, it's pretty tough. Usually they're really close in weight. I don't know how they did that or why, that foil layer doesn't make as much of a difference, but it does. In fact, I guess maybe for like this one, Koga's making up a very small portion of it, so maybe there's just less ink. So I don't even know. Maybe somebody who understands the print quality a little bit better. All right, got a nice Erica's Jigglypuff, Giovanni's Magikarp. I'll probably grade both of those. I used to love the artwork on that Abra, because that's the 94, 93. Yes, the 94. The 93 was pretty nice, but it's like he's like really big in it. I like the Abra where he's just kind of sleeping off in the background. Got Sabrina's Psyduck, Missy's Seal. There's the Kakuna. I don't think we got the Weedle. Max Revive. Ooh, Blaine's Charmeleon. I really like that card. Looks like the uncommons weren't centered too well, but still pretty cool to see it. Ooh, and a Missy's Gyarados. Okay, so both of these ended up being hollow. You can see the centering a little bit better on this one, where it's thicker on the left versus the right. But wow. These have been sitting on my tower over there for months. And I told myself, instead of sending these off, let me just give them a shot. And then I convinced myself, no, it's not worth it. Even if you do open them, you're probably not going to, it's not going to be worth it monetarily. It'd just be better even if you sold them as a light. But it's kind of cool seeing them and experiencing it, because I haven't done that in a while. And I just want to get back to kind of what I used to enjoy a little bit. And since these were sitting there, I wanted to go ahead and do it. And I'm glad I did, because so we've got the Koga's Beedrill and Missy's Gyarados. So if you do go and there's any of these Gym Challenge First Edition packs still left with Catch 'em All collectibles, don't expect Beedrill or the Missy's Gyarados. And I think we've already opened up Giovanni's Gyarados, Giovanni's Persian, Brock's Ninetales, and I want to say there was one more. No, Koga's Ditto. I made fun of the Ditto. Sorry, I think that was that might have been Ghost. I was making fun of the Ditto because it was just one of those cards that people really didn't want from this set. Ditto is pretty cool. What is it? It's the one that peels off in Pokemon Go, but it was not one of the highlights of this set. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there was a bunch of information in the beginning, probably bored you out, but I think there might be a few of you out there who would be intrigued to know this kind of information. I know I was. It makes my life a whole lot easier with the inventory stuff. I don't have to constantly update it. I can see when it updates, and all I got to do is like refresh the page or click on the links if I ever do need an exact price for an item that's not loading. But we did get to open up some heavy Gym Challenge packs and look at the set. And now that we're getting a Team Rocket kind of like nod from Pokemon, maybe we'll get something from Gym Challenge as well. That'd be kind of cool. Let me know what you guys think about WOTC. Is it still relevant? Do people even care? I still personally like it. I'm kind of glad prices haven't spiked crazy. It makes some of the cards like my Giovanni's Persian still attainable if I really wanted to pursue it in a 10. It's just, do I value it that much more than the 9? Sometimes you got to weigh that stuff out. But compared to Modern, it seems like it is much more flatline. I know Z&G has been posting some record prices for a lot of cards, which is interesting to see. Especially, I think I saw a Gengar Skyridge for, it was like 13 grand or something crazy like that. I haven't seen that yet, but for as expensive as Skyridge is, as popular as Gengar is, and as good as looking that card is, I could see that in a 10. Anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for giving me your time.